Hey, soul survivors, we're going to talk about narcissism and ADHD. Are they similar? Are they different? How can we tell the difference between the two? Because we sometimes misunderstand people's motives behind certain things. And a lot of times we get a little upset when somebody doesn't get back to us. And I know people with ADHD, a lot of times they think that they replied to you, they got distracted, and they didn't necessarily mean to blow you off. Narcissists love to ghost and do the silent treatment. They do that to avoid taking accountability. But sometimes people with different issues that they're struggling with, whether it's depression, anxiety, ADHD, other kinds of things, that they might not communicate in the right way that we're hoping for. We do have to give people some grace that they can be busy, they can get distracted. But with a narcissist, one of the key factors is just how they lie and gaslight. So somebody with ADHD may blow you off. They may ghost you, as it seems, but they are more likely to acknowledge if you talk to them, and they'll tell you, look, I completely forgot. Now it gets tricky because we don't always know what somebody's truly telling us. A narcissist could say the same thing, and that's why all this gets so tricky. The narcissist could say that they got distracted. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but they could be cheating on you and they just know that that's going to work because you have empathy, and you'll be like, no, I can understand that. So it gets tricky. But according to research, narcissism and ADHD can appear similar in some ways, but they're fundamentally different. Narcissism is a personality disorder that has that exaggerated self-importance, lack of empathy, preoccupation with one's own needs and desires. Narcissists often have a sense of entitlement, need for admiration and attention from others, while ADHD is a neurodevelopmental disorder, and this can be characterized by a persistent pattern of inattention, could be hyper activity, also impulsivity, and that interferes with their function or development. So people who have ADHD may have difficulty focusing or being organized, or they may act impulsive without considering the consequences. So when somebody with ADHD does that, they're not thinking through things. They're not purposely going behind your back, where the narcissist will hurt you. There's a difference between, mild impulses or manipulative impulses where they're going to lie about it. So while they do have similarities in symptoms, like I said, the impulsivity, the underlying causes of these conditions are different. Narcissism, they believe, is a combination of possibly genetics, environmental, psychological factors, where ADHD is linked to neurobiological differences within the brain. So it's important to note that having ADHD does not mean that somebody is more prone to narcissism, nor does having narcissism mean that somebody has ADHD. There is some overlap, but they are two distinct conditions. And if somebody is suffering from that, they definitely require different types of treatment. So narcissism and ADHD, two different conditions, do not have all that many similarities. And there will be some overlapping between the two with the impulsivity, difficulty focusing. They can both struggle with concentration and attention sometimes. So neurobiological, that refers to the biological processes and functions involved in the nervous system and brain. And this is where the ADHD comes from. And this includes the study of the cellular, molecular biology, genetics, pharmacology, electrophysiology, all these things that are going on in the brain. And it involves understanding the underlying neural mechanisms that control complex behavior related to cognition, emotion, perception, and even movement. So in easier terms, it just means the science of how the brain and nervous system work together to create conscious thoughts and behaviors. So is ADHD trauma response, genetic issue? There are some studies that say that it can be a genetic issue with a heritability rate of estimated around 70 to 80%. And there is some research that the trauma or environmental stressors may increase the risk of developing ADHD symptoms. So they do believe it's genetic and environmental. And with the narcissist, a lot of their stuff, they do think there might be some genetic predisposition, but a lot of it is trauma based and it affects their brain and the way that they have to manipulate to survive is different than somebody with ADHD. Somebody with ADHD might be forgetful or not quite think things through, but the narcissist will purposely withhold information because they know they're doing something wrong. So does a narcissist know what they're doing to us? In some capacities, they do. Now, some of their discussion issues with the way that they talk, they may not necessarily know exactly how they're communicating the wrong way, how they're blame shifting. They might think they're communicating appropriately, trying to convey what they feel. And by doing that, though, you can get an insight into who they are, what they are actually doing. It takes a long time to understand who this person really is because they have that mask and they go to great lengths to hide who they really are. Somebody with ADHD, they try to communicate. They can have empathy. You know, they're not trying to hurt you or trying to hide something. It's just the way that their brain is working. A narcissist is all about themselves. So somebody with ADHD just has problems. It's not necessarily that they're being self-centered or feel more important than somebody else. So as far as the treatment goes, the treatment is different because you have to deal with the underlying issues that's causing the situation. Somebody with ADHD, they don't feel better than others. It's just what they're going through. But this person feels entitled. So it's a whole different mind concept thing that needs to change. And I just thought it was important to bring up. I keep seeing all these videos about ADHD people who are like, yeah, I didn't get back to you for a couple months. That's just how I am. It's not that I don't love you. It's just out of sight, out of mind type things. And we all have struggles. And people too with depression, they might not get back to you. So narcissism and some of those other cluster B really struggle with not being the center of attention and having things their way. So there are differences between ADHD and narcissism. So does your person just not get back to you like they should? Unfortunately, it's society today. We're so busy and got a lot of anxiety, depression, all that kind of stuff going on. But if somebody is lying to you, if somebody is gaslighting you, that's a really good sign they're either psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissists, and it's the manipulative behavior that really definitely sets it apart. So I hope that was helpful. We all have our struggles, but honesty will let you understand someone so you know how to handle them. But the narcissist won't be honest with us. So we don't know what their triggers are. We don't know how to handle them. It changes day to day. And it, you know, and it's kind of interesting in the mirroring. A lot of times twins, one will have a right hand and one will have a left hand if they're put in the crib together for a long time. They start mirroring each other. And this is my right, well, there might be a shift in my screen, but if we were in person, if you mirrored, this is my right and that'll be your left on this side. So we try to, in a sense, mirror each other. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. And when you're in a close relationship with somebody, you do kind of mirror each other. You start liking the same things, disliking the same things. But when it comes to the brain function, it's weird how it conforms us to having damage to our brain. It's like our brains are mirroring and just be cautious if you're with somebody who is narcissistic, because it'll change your brain. And when it changes your brain, it changes how you think, how you feel, how you interact with other people. So it is life changing. And it's usually not for the best. You're going to miss out on good friendships. You might start hiding things, and are going to start having to develop coping mechanisms instead of just living your true natural life. So I hope that was helpful. We all need to understand each other. And I just, it's so sad that the narcissist refuses to take accountability. And because of that, that's where that blame shifting and projection comes. And it's just who they are. And, just like us, if I told you guys, just snap out of it. I know you're sad. Just don't be. Like, it doesn't just happen. I can't just tell you to do that. I can help you through the process. It's a process. But so for the narcissist, when we're like, we need you to change, it's just like me telling you to change. Just get over it. Come on. It takes effort. It takes pain. It takes rewiring. It takes acknowledging, takes understanding, redirecting the way your thoughts get processed. And the narcissist, they don't really want to change because they can get new supply. Things are working for them. And if they're not working with you, they can find a way to make it work. We're not finding a way to work because we're so hurt. We're still processing and going through the grieving process. So I am here to help you heal. I did a poll on what you guys need the most. Check out the community tab on my homepage. You should be able to see the community tab. That'll give you postings on live chat, which I'd love to have you in. Free advice, and a great community of supporters, a really good group. And also I'll be doing polls to try to understand what you guys need. I'd like to bring this channel to help you personally with your needs. So like if I have two people saying conflicting things of what they need, I will do videos on both of those. I want to help each and every one of you. So please like and subscribe. Those likes help with the algorithm, helps the channel grow. And I hope to see you in live chat. Thanks for watching.